pause the video, play when you're ready to go through the answers. Okay, so this one we've got root 3 multiplied by root 3, which you should know is just 3. This one, 16, is a square number, so this one is a difference of two squares. So you've got x plus 4, x minus 4. This one, the area of the circle is pi r squared, but we've got half a circle, so we're going to divide it by 2. So pi times 3 squared divided by 2 is going to give you 9 pi over 2 meters squared, and you can just leave it like that. Perimeter, well, the perimeter is pi times the diameter, so pi times 6, but we need to divide that by 2. So that is going to give us 3 pi, but that is just the outside bit here. Okay, so it's just the curved perimeter. We need to also then add on the diameter. So the total perimeter is going to be 3 pi plus 6 meters. Now the nth term, this one is halving each time, so it's a special type of geometric sequence. So geometric sequences are a times r to the power of n minus 1. A is the number we start on, 120, multiplied by the ratio. What are we doing each time? What are we multiplying by? Well, we're multiplying by a half each time. So it's going to be 120 multiplied by 0.5 to the power n minus 1. Okay, today's lesson is cumulative frequency graphs and box plots. So slightly longer title. Pause the video, play when you're ready to go through the examples. Okay, so box plots. It's really important that you've got these 2 points. The median is who is better on average. The interquartile range, so that is the difference between the lower quarter and the upper quarter, that is all about consistency. So can you make sure that you've copied both of these 2 points into your books? And I'll discuss that a bit more now. So we've got a box plot here. Now this value is the minimum, this value is the maximum. The median is the one in the middle. This is the upper quartile and this is the lower quartile. So if we were to put some percentages on it, the lower quartile is the first 25% of the data. The median is the halfway point, and the upper quartile is the 75th percent. The interquartile range is the difference between the upper quartile and the lower quartile. Okay, so you need to remember that. And the range is going to be the maximum subtract the minimum. So for this one, the median, just for revision, we need to check the scale. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 squares for a difference of 10. So that's fairly straightforward. The median is going to be 50. The range is going to be the maximum. So 68, subtract the minimum. So the range is going to be 38. And the interquartile range is going to be the upper quartile, which is 55. Subtract the lower quartile, which is 39, which is going to give you a value of 16. So we've worked out the median, the range, and the interquartile range. Can you give the one on the right a go? So I want the median, the range, and the interquartile range, and then I will check your answers. Okay, so the median. First of all, we need to look at the scale. Now we've gone up 10 squares, but for a difference of 20. So each little square is going to go up in 2s. So the median is going to be 98. The range is going to be 158 subtract 70, which is going to give you 88. And the interquartile range is going to give you 120 subtract 90, which is 30. Okay, so we've worked out the median, the range, and the interquartile range. I've just got 2 of these to practice. They should be revisions, so they shouldn't take you too long. Give these 2 a go and then mark your answers straight after. Okay, here are the answers. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to compare box plots. So the question on the left, the box plot below shows the distributions of the times a group of busybodies and a group of chatterboxes were able to stay silent. A busybody says that busybodies were definitely better. So if it's talking about being better, then that is when we're looking at the median. If it was talking about consistency, then we would be looking at the interquartile range. So it says the busybodies were definitely better at staying silent. Well, their median is higher, so they were silent for longer. So do you agree? Yes, the median for the busybodies was higher. And then put some evidence, make it really, really obvious to the examiner that you know what you're talking about. It was higher 30 compared to the chatterboxes, 20. Okay, so you're getting a mark for yes and backed up with the median. Okay, because remember, better is looking at the median, consistency is looking at the interquartile range. Okay, so if we were to discuss the ones on the right then, we've got two classes, 7A and 7B, that have done a test. Who is better? Who has done better? Well, that is where we're looking at the median. So which class has the better median? Well, 7A, the median is 20. 7B, the median is 28. Okay, so which class has done better? 7B is better because it has a higher median. Now, if it was talking about consistency, I'm hopefully going to have a bit of room here, then you know that that's interquartile range. So let's work them out. For 7A, the interquartile range is 24, subtract 15, which is 9. 7B, the interquartile range, is 33, subtract 24, which is also 9. So actually, the interquartile range is the same for both classes. So actually, they're both as consistent as each other. Okay. Now, importantly, if, and it's not the best example as you can appreciate, if the interquartile range is massive like this, that means if the interquartile range is big, that means it's not consistent. It's not very consistent because actually people have got a massive range of marks. Whereas if you had the similar range, so if you had a similar range, but all of your values, the interquartile range was much narrower, that is very consistent. Because actually most of them, if you think about it, that's 50% of the people are not very spread out. Whereas in the top example, you've got 50% of the people that are spread out massively. Okay, so like in the busybodies example here, the interquartile range, that represents 50% of the people. So that's a massive inconsistency. Whereas the chatterboxes, the middle 50%, is actually a much tighter group. So the chatterboxes are much more consistent because their IQR is much smaller. Okay, can you compare B, C, and D? So they go down. So you've got those two, and those two. Can you write comparisons? Which is better and which is more consistent? Okay, now we're going to move on to cumulative frequency graph. Okay, so cumulative frequency is the running total. Now in the first example, they've already done the running total for you. So what we need to do is we need to plot it, but cumulative frequency is plotted from the end point. So we've got 20 and 2, we've got 40 and 6, we've got 60 and 15, we've got 80 and 36, 100 and 58, 120 and 73, and 140 and 80. Now this is going to be hard for me to draw it, but the first group starts at 0. So I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to try and join this up, going through all of the crosses. And it should look like a kind of lazy S. Okay, so that's just how you draw it. Now what we're going to do is look at something, looking at finding the median from a cumulative frequency. Now we've got 80 here. So the median is going to be the 40th. Where's the 40th here? Now I've not got a ruler, or I have, but it's not going to work here. But if you've got 80 here, the middle one is going to be at 40. So with a ruler, you need to go across to where it hits the curve at that point there, and then you need to go down and read that off. So we've got 10 squares that's go up by 20. So I think that that value there is going to be 84 kilograms. So the median deer is going to be 84 kilograms. How would we work out the interquartile range? Well, that's the third quarter, take away the first quarter. So third quarter, take away the first quarter. So if that's the median, the upper quartile is going to be at 60. So that's going to be the upper quartile. So the upper quartile is going to be 100. And the lower quartile is going to be 20, going down is going to be about, is that going to be about 64? So then the interquartile range is 36 kilograms. Okay, and if you've done this like I've done it in an exam, you lose loads of marks. You must use a ruler. Okay, so you must use a ruler. Right, what I would like you to do, if you've got a printer, you can print it off and give it a go. But if not, see if you can give that a go in your book, and then we'll go through the answers in a minute. Okay, so for this one, they've not done the cumulative frequency for you. They've just given you the frequency. So we need to still plot it from our endpoint. Cumulative frequency is the running total. So first of all, we had 12, but then we're adding 30. We've already got 12, so that takes us up to 42. If we then add 28, that's going to take us up to 70. We've then got to add another 22, which takes us up to 92. We've then got to add 8, which takes us up to 100. Now, this number here is usually quite a nice number, and it's often given in the question, so it's useful to check. If you've got 99, for example, you've probably made an error. So then what we're doing is we're plotting it from the endpoint and these values here. So we've got 30 and 12. We've got, what are we going up into? So we're going to go 30 and 12. We've got 40 and 42. We've got 50 and 70. We've got 60 and 92. And we've got 70 and 100. Now, our first group starts at 20, so I'm going to start my curve from 20. I'm going to take care to go through all of the crosses, like so. Okay, so you get 1 mark for drawing the cumulative frequency. Now, how would I work out the median? Well, the median, I've got 100 teachers, so the median is going to be 50. So with a ruler, you're going to where it hits the graph and going down. So that one, I believe, is going to be about 43. So the median, I would say, is about 43 years old. And the interquartile range, well, that's going to be from 75. So that's going to be from 75. So I'm going to read that one down. You can see that it's not ideal doing it freehand whatsoever. So I think that that's going to be about 52. Subtract, and 25 is going to be somewhere down here. Okay, so I think that's going to be about 36. So the interquartile range is going to be about 16 years. Okay, and these are what you can compare with. So again, if it's better, which one is better? If you're comparing graphs, better is the median, and consistency is all about the interquartile range. Okay, what I'd like you to do is give these questions a go. So there's a couple of questions. If you've got a printer, print them off at home. If not, try your best in the books that you've got. Okay, so for these ones, just work out the median, the interquartile range, and the range. These are the answers. Okay, so for this one, the graph shows information about time taken to solve a puzzle. Okay, so the graph shows time taken to solve a puzzle. I'm just going to rub this out whilst I talk over it. How many people took less than 30 seconds? Well, what you need to do is you need to go from time 30 seconds. You need to draw a line going up to where it hits the graph, a line going across, and that takes us up to 34. So there are 34 people that took less than 30 seconds. For 10 seconds, you would do the same. How many people took longer than 25 seconds? Well, that's going to be drawing it up to the graph, but then it's going to be the extra people on the top. They're the ones that have taken longer than 25 seconds. The same for the 35. And then what about this? Well, the fastest 10 people. Well, the first 10 people are going to be these, aren't they? So you're going to go from the first 10 people, they would have done it in less than 14 seconds. The slowest 2 people, you're going to be going up to the top. So taking off 2, that's going to be the 39th and the 40th. So you're then going to be able to see what time they did, and then you can compare that with the shortest and the longest time taken. Okay, give that question a go, and then check your answers on the next slide. Okay, this is a GCSE question. Pause the video, play when you're ready to go through the answer. Okay, so I've not got a ruler like I've said before, but what we've got here is every 2 squares is 1 value, isn't it? So that's going to be 11, 12, 13, 14. So I believe that this is going to be the least value, the minimum. The lower quartile, 20, 19, 18. The median is 20. The upper quartile is 25. And the greatest value is 30. And then you've just got to draw it up correctly. So we join up the lower quartile and the upper quartile. And then we just put some whiskers on for the maximum value and the minimum value. So hopefully I've done that one correctly. Okay. Give this question a go. So the median, if you've got 60 cars, we're going to go from 30 to where it hits the line. I think it's going to go straight down and be 120, so 120 kilometers an hour. The speed limit is 130 kilometers an hour. Traffic police say that more than 20% of cars travelling on the motorway break the speed limit. So if we go up from 130, so 130, and read that across, that's going to be 52. The traffic police say that more than 20% of cars travel faster than the speed limit. So that's going to be 8 vehicles, and that's going to be 8 out of 60. So if we work that out as a percentage, so 8 out of 60 multiplied by 100, that gives me 13.3%. So more than 20% are travelling. That is incorrect because the value is 13.3% based on the values that I've just worked out. For these 60 cars, the minimum speed was 97. So we've got 100, 99, 98, 97. The maximum speed was 138. Okay, so you need to make sure that these are accurate and that they are the same height. Use the cumulative frequency. Well, we've worked out that the median is 120. What you now need to do is work out the lower quartile. So that's going to be going from 15 across, which is going to be about 115. And then you need to work out the upper quartile, which is going to be about 45. And draw that down, which is about 125. You can see that I'm going through it quite quickly and I haven't got a ruler. But then your box plot should look something similar to that. Okay, the exit tickets to finish. So we just got those answers there, yeah. Okay, so have a look at that exit ticket. Which was more consistent? So we're looking at the interquartile range. Can you work it out from the diagram? Well, that's 70, and that is going to be 22, 24, 26, 28. That one, I believe, has got an interquartile range of 42. This one is 50 up to 92. So that one has an interquartile range of 42 as well. So this one, actually, they're both the same. What about the next one? On average, so we're looking at the median, which is better, which use their phone more, the males or the females. The males, their median is a lot higher. So their median here is a lot higher than the median for the females. Okay, the last one. So what fraction go from 8 to 13? Well, that's testing your knowledge that the median is 50% and this is 100%. So it's just the top half of the data. So it's going to be B. Okay, thanks for listening. I look forward to teaching you tomorrow.